So 4,000 people have deregistered because of Trump. I've never liked Trump more in my life because they're mostly Democrats. Ernest Luning from Colorado Politics. Thanks for being here. Corey Hutchins from The Independent. Let's start here. How many people have deregistered?
Like you said, last I checked, roughly 4,000 voters across Colorado have voluntarily taken themselves off the voter rolls. The majority of them, and this is why you're so happy, are Democrats.
Are Democrats. Because,
overwhelming majority are Democrats.
This was because Donald Trump has requested, whatever committee he's put together, a commission, all the registration information, which is public. I'm sorry, this is such a nothing burger. I can't understand why people are freaked out about it because everybody has that information. It's public information. And poor Wayne Williams is there saying, I'm not giving Trump anything that anybody else gets because they all get it.
You understand that you're a political junkie. You've been around. You follow this stuff for a living. A lot of average voters in Colorado, I think, were shocked when they found out through the news that their information is already public.
Why is it mostly Democrats? Because they're not that smart. Go ahead, say it. They're not that smart.
Democrats, you know, I got a call from a couple who told me that they were thinking about unregistering, but decided to go the confidential voter route instead, which is something else you can do in Colorado. If you fill out an affidavit that says, I basically, you know, I swear that I fear for my safety or fear criminal harassment.
Right. This is somebody who's under a protection order or something, who's worried about their ex-husband.
A lot of law enforcement.
Yeah. A lot of judges, people like that, right?
You know, political figures as well.
Some public figures too, sometimes too. Actually, news anchors.
Reporters nowadays,
news anchors.
Yeah.
How about think tank
so
presidents? Maybe we should do that.
That's a good idea.
But this man that I spoke to for a story told me the reason he did it is because you know, he believes that Trump has a pattern of going after his political rivals. And I said, and I perhaps assumed he was a Democrat. I said, well, you mind telling me what party? And he said, I'm unaffiliated and I've been my whole life. About 1,000 or more unaffiliated voters have also taken themselves off the voter rolls here.
All right, but am I wrong here? Walmart buys this information. Target gets the information. Every political campaign goes on their website and downloads this information. It's public information, and and it was funny because I'm a CPR junkie, so I listen to public radio, and it seemed like they were making a big deal of this. Oh my God, Trump wants this information, until they found out more Democrats were unregistering, and then they were really quick to try to make it clear. But you know, this is public.
Well, it is public, and we looked into it last year. 110 organizations or individuals asked for this information from the state. More than that got it from the counties, from the county clerks that have the voter registration information. And this year so far, it's been 40 through the end of June. So it's out there. A lot of folks have it, but I talked to...
And it gets more requested the closer you get to election time because people
this is how people build their voter lists, their voter contact lists. There's a lot of academic institutions get it to do analysis of the vote. Later, they'll contact folks, polling organizations, they use it. But I talked to Jenna Griswold, who announced she's running for Secretary of State last week. She's a Democrat, the first candidate running. One of the races that doesn't have a whole lot of people in the primary. She's the first one running against Wayne Williams, and she said, "Listen, it's different when it's federal, when it's a federal agency or a federal commission asking for this." And some of the other secretaries of state around the country said the same thing.
What's different?
Not just that elections are a state matter; they're handled by the state. The federal government can set some standards, like they did after the 2000 election in Florida, but. And they can help folks out. They can help with cybersecurity is a big thing that's come up in this last election, but that basically the federal government, you know, is supposed to stay out of local elections, other than determining that they're run uniformly.
Maybe fine, but they're not getting involved in local elections. You know, if the CBO wanted to see this data, or University of Wisconsin was doing a study and got that information, you know, there are a lot of out-of-state. Walmart gets this information.
Sure. Harvard University got the list last year of Colorado voters.
When I register, what exactly is public?
The year of your birth, not your entire birth date.
Not the whole date, just the year.
Yep. Yeah. Your address, what party you're a member of if you were a member of a party, and what elections you voted in the past and where. the commission asked for the last 4 digits of voters' social security numbers. That upset a lot of people. In Colorado, that's not public information, and they're not going to get it. Our Secretary of State, Wayne Williams, said he is only giving information that is currently a public record, that if a journalist asked for, he would have to give. If Harvard University asked for, like they did, he would have to give. And that's all that he has given to the commission. We should note that he has not given it. The deadline was July 14th. He was going to give it then. If somebody has unregistered, their information would not have gone to the commission. And that's why I think a lot of people did unregister, to keep that information from an administration they don't trust. The reason he hasn't sent that information yet is because there's a series of lawsuits now tangling up this whole process, and we don't yet know when that information is going to come out of Colorado, if ever. And so for those people who unregistered, I don't think they know when they're supposed to re-register if that was their plan.
Right.
And Wayne has done a good job at this. From what I understand, I mean, he's saying we will release the information that we are legally obliged to release to anyone who asks it, whether it's a reporter or whether it's me. This is what he has to give out. I didn't even know. I don't even think we collect social security numbers, do we?
Actually, we do, and we use those in
but
some.
as a register, when I register, I don't have to give them
You
that
don't
information.
have to.
I wouldn't do it.
You can give an alternate form of ID, but the state does take some measures to make sure that you're not registered several places in the same state or here and in other states. And the states use, and you can't just say because you're born on January 10th, 19 whatever, that you're the same Jon Caldara as someone with the same birth date in Arkansas, for instance.
But then how is that possible that I can same-day register and go any place and have a utility bill? You know, so that's on same-day voter registration. I bring my TV bill and I say that's who I am. There's no driver's license number. There's no social security because.
Well, you need to provide certain information for that, and then what the Secretary of State does is compare that to other databases to make sure that you provided valid information. And it turns out extremely rarely they might find someone who says, wait, that person isn't who they said they are, and they can go back and determine and toss them off the rolls. But that happens maybe once, twice a year.
There's always a problem of people naturally being on the rolls that shouldn't be. You move. Yeah. And you don't tell the state you left.
It's not up to you to tell them that you left.
Die, and foolishly you don't inform the state that you're dead. You're going to stay on the rolls.
The state reconciles deaths within Colorado and within a certain number of other states share their records with Colorado, so that if the Social Security numbers match on that, they will remove you from the rolls if you've died in one of these states that reports. They do that on a monthly basis.
I don't think it's all states, though, right?
It's not all states.
And that's one of the things that Wayne Williams recommended to the commission, is that more states get into that.
Yeah, there's a couple of...
who's really upset about this? I mean, it seems like much ado about nothing, but now that I'm seeing that so many Democrats are unregistering, how do I get the word out more about how scary this is?
People that are fearful that, there's a orchestrated systematic process to try and get less or fewer people to vote, and feel that this commission has already succeeded in that. Because in Colorado we saw that 4,000 people unregistered. We should note that there are 3.7 million voters in this state.
Right.
So it's a small portion. But the person who runs elections in Denver, Amber McReynolds, told me, she said that she's been administering elections for 12 years. She never thought she'd walk into the office one day and have a day where more people unregistered than new people signed up. And on the day I talked to her, she said, and that happened yesterday.
But and tell me if I'm wrong on this, unregistering is still public information. Can't I go to Wayne Williams and say, I want to know who these 4,000 people are?
A liberal group already did.
Yeah, Progress Now, check that out. They got the information from, 5 or 6 counties? 10 counties, big counties, and with the intent of getting in touch with these folks.
And trying to get back on the voter rolls. Well, not all these folks. If Progress Now went and did public information to find out who the unregistered, they're going to talk to people who will likely vote Democrat and convince them to re-register.
They might, and the Republicans would probably do that too.
No, Republicans aren't smart enough to actually go through and do that. But so Progress Now is going to do that, but those people who unregistered, they still don't know that. It's still public information that you unregistered. So if Trump wants to be mean to you, he could find out all right, who unregistered? They're obviously scared of me. What's wrong with them?
It's a really good opportunity for voters to pay attention and try and find out what exactly is a public record in Colorado. Your voter information is a public record in Colorado, but that's no indication that Colorado has great access to information laws in general.
Corey, thank you. Ernest, thank you. Thank you. Read me in the Denver Post. Listen for me on KHOW Radio. Tell a friend about the Independence Institute, and we'll see you next week.